Hello, everyone. How you all doing out there? And it's good to see everybody here. And we got, according to the number up here in the corner, I got 6 people watching. And let's see who are our people that are making comments. All right, first one in was, if I can scroll to the top, Walt Rogers, followed by Jabber the Prepper, then Super Scout, and of course me commenting back to them. All right. 1, 2, froze for a second there. All righty, so let me work the magic here and get things up where I need them to be over here on the side screen. Okay, that's up. All righty, so for those that are coming in here now, there are interesting things going on this week. On Wednesday, I'm going to try an experiment on Wednesday. I'm going to start it at, shoot, what time did I set it? I think I set it for noon my time. Hang on, let me look over here and bring it up over here so I make sure what I did here. Dang, what happened to it? There it is. All right, so that is at, yeah. So on Wednesday, I'm going to set it, I have it set for at noontime. And the reason for that is I'm going to see how, the numbers of people coming in doing it. So that'll make it noon my time, which will make it 2 o'clock Eastern. So it'll be like 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'll be done at 5 o'clock when everybody else comes on, or a little bit before everybody else comes on. So see that. But I also, Wednesday, I need to get up to Idaho Falls and do a bunch of shopping. I need to get my daughter some, I need to go to Costco and get my daughter a couple boxes of the pizza for the grandkids, because sometimes they want pizza, and those Costco pizzas that come 4 in a box, great, it tastes absolutely great, and the boys eat them, and so I'm going to get some of those. And of course, Danny and Oliver, when they were over here yesterday, were bugging me for hot dogs, and I hadn't picked up any hot dogs from Costco for quite a while. And it's like, oh, I am out. So I got to get one of those 3 packs for them. All right. Okay, so let's get into the storyline here, and let's put me up in the corner up here and bring up the novel up over here. There we go. Right, now I can go ahead and get rid of the highlighted stuff because, and yes, I was writing up there in, where was I writing? I was working on the up in chapter 11 up here in the last bit here, and some into the 21st and 22nd in chapter 12. So yeah, so I highlight this so I get back to where I am here, so I can give you guys a story. All right, so this was come on, there we go. So we ended in the middle of the little rebellion in the SOG. Most of the SOG members wanted to start doing hard stuff right away, and has to do with this with whether it's going to be co-ed showers or not, and stuff like that. And some of the tier 1 operators that are there help training them, saying they were leaning not during boot camp, not during boot. They're saying during the second phase of training, after 16 weeks, when they go into the intermediate training, or even into year 2 of the training when they're doing SEER training. That's the survival, evade, whatever and ever. Yeah. Anyway, so they're going to be talking about that. And General Marquis, having listened, everybody goes, all right, Kimberly, it's your group. You have whatever you decide is what we'll do. I'm leaning to either one or two times, either during SEER or during at the beginning of the intermediate training. And so she's let me back up just a little bit. And so so I'm going to start right here, right here, a couple paragraphs before us, because this leads into what's going on right now. All right, General Marquess gave his blessing to the beginning of the intermediate training phase for the start for co-ed showers, but he said it was my call. She shifted her hands. She lifted her hands to her head and ran them over her jet black hair and let out a groan. I was against this so much, but I'm making the choice I am, and I need Michael to know too. She stepped away from everybody and took her boots and socks off. But first, I need to clear my head and make sure I say it right. She then removed her tactical vest and set it on her boots, then her weapons belt, plate carrier, MCCUU blouse, and finally the dragon scale body armor. Then she started stretching and doing simple kata-like moves. Kimberly took a wide leg stance and stopped. She reached down and tugged at the groin of her pants. Then stood up, undid her pants, kicked them off, stepped away a little, stopped, peeled off her t-shirt, leaving her in sports bra and boxer briefs. She went to a wide leg stance, only wider and lower. She moved gracefully, more gracefully than before. She slid around the room as if she were on ice skates. Several of them noticed her eyes were closed. Suddenly, she was doing flips, kicks, punches, faster and faster. She moved like a whirling dervish, going faster with each movement. When she suddenly stopped facing a double rack. And for those who don't know, the racks are what they call beds, and a double rack is a bunk bed. Then she lashed out with punches at the rack. After several punches, she pivoted to the next rack. Michael realized she was using the racks as a wooden man post. She moved down the line, punching, kicking, elbowing, and elbow striking with enough intensity to move the racks without breaking them. Commander Smythe spoke softly towards General Marquess, but the Chapmans and the NCOs heard her clearly. She's really stepping up her control. Her eyes are still closed. Several of them gasped, and General Marquess commented, "Very impressive indeed." When Kimberly got to the last rack, she hit it a dozen times, spun into the middle of the squad bay, and stopped. Then she looked up at him with her eyes still closed, her arms out, palms and fingers spread wide as if she were holding two invisible volleyballs. She had a peaceful look about her until she opened her eyes. They had a fiery presence that scared almost everyone. Nora would say that it was not fury, but an internal energy that was more than Kimberly. She bolted towards them at a fast run, jumped into the air, comma, arms spread, S-P-R-E, spread wide, like she was going to do a swan dive into the floor. The last instant before she hit the floor, she tucked into a somersault, rolled twice, and launched herself up into the rafters of the 14-foot ceiling. As she went up, she looked like she was swimming slowly in the air. Then, as she reached the apex of her rise, her hands came down quickly to a little above her waist, waist height, and were palms down, fingers spread, again as if you were holding two invisible volleyballs. But this pose looked more like Doctor Strange casting a spell, and she froze in the air. What the hell? General Marquess exclaimed, as did Captain Chapman and First Sergeant Judd. Nora had an idea that Kimberly was going to do her vault and had her phone out recording. But she wasn't expecting this. Well, I'll be a gobsmacked virgin. General Marquess glanced over. You are recording this? Yes, sir. As she stepped to the side to get a better angle. After about 10 seconds, Kimberly began to slowly float down to the floor. As soon as she touched the floor, she seemed to disappear. Then they realized that she was moving at an incredible speed as racks rocked and shifted on the floor. After several seconds, she began to slow down and they could see her again. About 10 seconds later, she was moving at her. After another minute, Kimberly came to a stop and balled her right hand and brought it to the center of her chest and covered it with her left hand. She closed her eyes and tilted her head back just a little. A faint smile appeared on her face. She took several slow, deep breaths, then tilted her head as if looking up to her right. She smiled broadly as she dropped her hands to her side and started walking quickly to Michael. Kimberly was almost to him when she spoke. Hey, babe. Hey, babe, he replied. I love you very, very much. I love you more than life itself, and I would do anything to protect you, Michael said, then added, I'd fight everyone in camp just to drink your bath water. She got to him and climbed up on him, wrapping her legs around his waist and her arms around behind his neck. I love you so much. She gave a kiss between each word and ended with a long kiss as she tried to get more of her tongue into his mouth than she had been able to do before. Michael tried to help her. The NCOs, officers, and ROTC cadets, and more than a few recruits were starting to get embarrassed by the time Kimberly broke the kiss. Then when she did, she said, babe, you know I would never ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do myself, right? Yes, he answered slowly, not positive where she was going, but had a suspicion that he didn't like it. She leaned close and rubbed noses with him. And that I like to lead by example I like to lead by example for both the easy and hard things. Don't go there, babe. She moved her head to the side and closed in and started nibbling on his ear. And they all voted for it. Don't. And we should be good leaders and set an example. Go. And we're getting married in a couple weeks there. Why not go take a shower here as an example and they can follow us? No, Michael shouted as he lifted Kimberly up high and swatted her butt hard with a loud crack, then dropped her upright on the floor. I've told you before that I do not want you to diminish yourself, even showing yourself to me before we get married. I promised that I would keep you pure like you said you wanted. But babe, no buts. Babe, I will not participate in this. If you go ahead and shower with anyone else but me, he let the threat hang in the air. Kimberly stiffened and threw her shoulders back defiantly. What? If you make yourself cheap like this, then I'll have no choice but to cancel the wedding. Michael folded his arms as tears came to his eyes. No, screamed Abigail. No, screamed Abigail. Not again. Michael, don't. Kimberly, you can't do this. You just said how much you love them, and you worked so hard to fix your last mistake. If you love me, you will do this, Kimberly fired back. Abigail started crying. I changed my vote. I vote no to co-ed showers. So do I. I vote no, Cora Spencer shouted. Me too, cried Sabrina. And like a flash flood from a broken dam, all the recruits changed their votes. Commander Smythe leaned close to General Marquis and whispered, they deserve an Oscar for that performance. General Marquis' head turned slowly as the revelation sank in. Sank, not sunk. Sank in. Kimberly, Abigail shouted as she grabbed Kimberly's arm. As she's grabbed Kimberly's arm, comma, hang on, I got to get sticks right here, comma. Delete, capitalize. The vote has to be 100% for it. Now it's almost 100% against it. You don't have to do this. We don't want you to do this. You can still get married. Kimberly looked down at Aunt Abigail's hands on her arm and back to Abigail's eyes. Abigail removed her hands faster than if she grabbed a hot coffee pot. Kimberly looked at the recruits. You sacrificed something you thought you wanted for something you deemed for the greater good for someone else, and you did it quickly. Final vote: no co-ed showers. Anyone caught showering will be honorably discharged. There will be no more votes on procedures, period. Then she chuckled a bit. And for your punishment for putting me through your crap, cold showers tonight and tomorrow morning. Exceptions for the ROTC as they walked in on this mess of yours and didn't have a chance for input before you voted. Private Easton Patrick opened her mouth to object, but Kimberly cut her off. Or would you rather have cold showers for a week or two instead of hot tonight, Private? Hot showers are nice, she smiled. Kimberly nodded and turned to Michael. Are you okay? She asked as she stepped up to him and wiped the tear away that he'd missed. Michael threw his arms around her. That was more frightening than our breakup for our parents, he whispered into her ear, then released her, and it hurt more. He tapped his chest. I don't ever want to do that again because pretending still hurts. What? Abigail exclaimed. Go take your earned cold shower, Miss Hot Blood, and keep your mouth shut, Michael snapped. Abigail recoiled with wide eyes. I love you, but right now I'm pissed. I love you, but I'm pissed at you right now. He turned back to Kimberly and gave her a quick kiss. Time to face the music. You could say that. Hang on, said General Marquest. Michael and Kimberly snapped to attention. Hang on, let me dang it, the furnace just kicked on again. And it blew a bunch of dust right up here up to me. I don't know how the dust got into the furnace from before. All right. Okay, I want to make sure I don't mess up here. I get the canceling the wedding was a bluff. Did you have to get so? Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Uh, ooh, that just flashed again like it was disappearing. So I get the canceling the wedding was a bluff, but did you have to get so? Yes, sir, we did, Kimberly said. We had to remind them about our love story and how much we love each other. Then to get them to understand that we promised not to diminish each other by showing the other our naked bodies before we get married. And showering together was even worse than just showing. And either is a violation of the promises we made to each other. And that would be their fault if they made us do it, made us do that, comma, because of Kimberly's commitment not to have them do anything that she wouldn't do, Michael added. That's why I'm so against co-ed showering, Kimberly explained. What about co-ed barracks? What about it? It's not the same. They're not in the same bed, Kimberly said. Doesn't it seem a little two-faced given what you said about not having or letting them do anything you won't do? Not at all. Like I said, they're not in this. They're. Hang on, I'm going to make both of them that way. They're not in the same bed, Kimberly said matter-of-factly. So do you and Captain Moore sleep in the same room? QUI inquired. General Marquez inquired. Yes, sir, and same bed, but we have not seen each other with less clothes on than I have on right now, sir. I should get back in the uniform, sir. She picked up her T-shirt and MC pants, PANTS. Those are on the top of the pile. Her T-shirt and MCCU pants. You two sleep in the same bed, and you're still virgin, sir. I'm proud of it. Incredible. So are her pajamas, Nora snickered. Hang on, you put it in here. Make sure I got something here. Okay, hang on here. Yeah, I'll just have to type it in. I can't do the cheat on it here. COMMANDER Commander SMYTH Commander Smythe. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, we had a couple people drop out. All right. Oh, that's what I wanted to put up here. Hang on, I need to put something up the banner here. Okay, I want to put wrong one. Hang on. Hang on, let me fix this here. Edit, not scroll. Save, show. And then I need to put this back on. There we go. All right. There we go. And bring comments back up. All right, and just that thing. Okay, that's still bringing up as last live. All right. So I'm just making adjustments there. So when somebody new comes in, hey, they get the thing lurking, it's fine, but please, check in. All right. Which is another reason why on Wednesday I'm pushing it back, so I'll probably get more people in and out. And the more people that come in and say hi, it'll get others to do the same thing. Okay, where was? Oh, and so are her pajamas, Commander Smythe. Nora snickered. What? All righty. Kimberly let out a deep sigh, pulled out her phone, and started swiping. When she found what she was looking for, she held it up for General Marquess and the other hang on, officers and NCOs to see. Come on, dang it. I don't know why this thing is just doing that jumping around crap here. Probably another update done by Microslop. Okay, it's trying to get to save here. Okay, see, it'll the others looked at the picture on the phone, blinked and started laughing. After several seconds, he got his laughter under control and asked, "And it works?" "That and his mom is across the hall," Kimberly said, and swiped a couple more times and showed another picture. "That's a twin bed, Elle." I spelled it wrong. Okay, how is it? It's, there we go. Lieutenant. Lieutenant Chapman exclaimed. "That's a twin bed," Lieutenant Chapman exclaimed, "and not much room to fool around in, but great for cuddles and feeling, talking and feeling safe." "I remember those days," Samson Marquess sighed with a sad smile. "Finish getting dressed, Captain." "Aye, sir." All right, there we go. October 29th, 2037, the 8th day after it passes. Early that morning, DHS passed on the information that they were able to compile from news reports, police reports, and files from the FBI. It seems that, hang on, I need to put this over where it belongs. Commander Smythe, Nora was correct in her yeah, can't even pronounce it right. Summation that there were over 3,000 heavens devils in Las Vegas during the monsoon let me go ahead and say monsoon deluge and earthquakes that destroyed the city and surrounding communities. There were, however, ham radio reports that the west side of the city that was against the La Madre Mountain wilderness had survived. Several of the parks where the biker gangs were reported were in this area. Most notably was Majestic Park, Lone Mountain Park, and Cliff Shadows Open Desert Park, with the latter being in the foothills of the La Madre Mountain Wilderness. area. Everyone silently hoped that Commander Smythe was correct in her summation of the information that there was no way for any survivors to make it to Interstate 15 to travel to St. George. St. George, Utah, to get to the North Rim. So surmise they would have to go north on U.S. Route 95 to U.S. Route 6 to head east again. If they lost their stolen supply trucks, they would need to hijack more or raid stores and warehouses to get the supplies for winter and spring. The best route to get any significant amount of supplies would take them through Cedar City, then St. George, back to Hurricane, then to Fredonia. If they were spending time to salvage trucks and trailers and other transportation vehicles from Las Vegas, that would buy them time to get ready for the bikers. If they didn't decide to go, if they didn't decide to go to the Canada site. So far, there have been no word of large groups of bikers traveling any of the routes Commander Smythe and her team had plotted out. At noon, they received a report of one group of Heaven's Devils that had skirted the east side of Hurricane and were headed towards Fredonia. The report said there were 30 motorcycles, followed by 3 Class A RVs, 6 semis with 53-foot trailers, 3 fuel tankers with trailers, 2 large propane tankers, 4 large food trucks, 2 semis with 53-foot refrigeration trailers, a lowboy flatbed trailer with motorcycles, and lastly, another 30 motorcycles. Oddly, there were no pickups or buses reported in this group, and they were only about 140 gang members. This was the smallest group besides the scouting party in the beginning. Commander Smythe, Nora, and her team began checking the maps and contacting ham radio operators in key towns to see if they had seen the group. The only thing that anyone had seen was a single truck and some motorcycles, or an RV and some motorcycles. Nora informed senior officers that she believed this group had broken up into small contingents so they would not attract attention. She also told them that hang on. They were I hate it when it does that. They were wearing gang colors. General Marquess decided to start using some of the Marine equipment in this engagement, specifically the Joint Light Tactical Vehicles. With the EOS R400S Mk2 remote weapon system integrated with the M230 LF 30mm automatic chain gun. At the back, they would bring in behind. At the back, they would bring in behind the last motorcycle both of the LAV 25 A's, 3 ADs, air defense vehicle variants. These were mainly for show. Today, everyone that could shoot would shoot. Those that had no military training but were hunters, just about all of them, were issued a rifle from the supplies that had been collected from the stolen weapons brought by Heaven's Devils. Hang on, I need to add something here. Just about every one was I issued a rifle rifle that they were all ready familiar. Okay. All right. I really hate it when it does fam. Okay, it's being a brain dead butt. Yeah. The older version of Office, the 2010 Office version I have on the other computer, has a better spell check than the new version does. Okay, let me get over here. So FMLI. LI. There we go. Okay. Yeah, just because they had an E on it, the new version can't recognize what familiar is spelled like. All right. With all military personnel, including recruits that were hunters, the militia trainees, the Jacob, there were over 300 armed personnel against 140. Before they left to get in their position, Nora showed video clips of the interrogations where hang on, I want to put this HEAV Heaven's Devils DEVI Heaven's Devils members MEM members admitted to eating their victims while raping them. After which Michael stepped forward and shouted, and I can't speak Klingon. This is Klingon. I got the correct spelling for this, but I can't speak Klingon. So if you want to highlight it quick or whatever, look at it and look it up. You can see it. But yeah, basically, he waited a couple seconds, then added, "Revenge is a dish best served cold. So be calm and cold-blooded when you shoot." Then he added, "Kapla." As they walked outside to upload, Kimberly pulled Michael aside and with a very serious face and tone said, "We need to talk tonight, but until then, do not speak Klingon again." She quickly walked out before he could say anything. Excuse me. At the back, Michael and Kimberly set up Abigail, sure shot, camera number 3, Jefferson, Lisa Creedmoor Robinson, Marta Harry Jordan, Cassie Under Siege Ryback, Donnie Adar, Donnie Boy Chapman, Master Sergeant Ryback, Kimberly and Michael. Hang on here. Hang on, I need to decipher this. I wrote this in too quick. Oh, yeah. Okay. I just need to put a period there. Okay. Kimberly and Michael had rifles with suppressors. Kennedy, Mulan Bayer, Sabrina Deathwish Jensen, Cora Hero Maker Spencer, Chloe Hit Girl, Reed, Tamara, Moorhead, Tuesday and Thursday Wild, Hank, Country Boy Roberts, and Tom. Hang on, I need to put an and in there. And Tom Coulson. I think I may have made a mistake. I need to double check on this. Not sure how many I had with this name on it here. Control F. Okay, hang on here. 4 results. Okay, let's go up here. Okay, so there's one Tom. Tom. Okay. We keep going up. 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm just double checking, make sure fine his bed. Okay, yeah, he did survive. Okay. I'm sorry. I mean, he didn't get booted out. Okay. So had bows, either compound or cross. Crossbows or combination bows. Just like before the just before the last truck, the one pulling the low boy with the motorcycles on it past the marker Kimberly had set up. Abigail suddenly said, "Hold for a few more seconds. Wait for my second shot." A couple seconds later, she fired, and then a second later, fired again. Go. She she fired again. Go. And she fired a third time. Sure Shot got a sweep, a hat trick, and a Quigley. The archers opened up on the front 6 motorcycles, disabling the drivers and passengers. Then fired on the next 5. Number 3, Creedmoor, Mata Hari, and Under Siege and Adair all got a Quigley and a couple singles each. Master Ryback, Michael, and Kimberly were double tapping everyone as fast as they could. In less than a minute, all of the rear guard bikers were down, with 8 taken prisoner. When Michael called rear element neutralized, the 2 LAV 25 ADs slowly pulled out and rolled up to them. Okay, hang on a second. I thought I heard somebody in here. I need to go see who it is. I will be, yeah, there's somebody here. Who's here? Okay, never mind. I don't need to go chasing. Oliver's here. Okay.
My hair's like this.
All right, come here. All right, guys, we're gonna have a laugh here. Here's Oliver. He got his hair cut. Wow, cool. All right, go watch TV. Oh man. Oh yeah. All right. All right. Where was okay? Slowly pulled out and rolled up to them. At the front, it was shock and awe. With the rocks and small boulders placed in place, the joint light tactical vehicle, I'm going to go through the abbreviations, was hidden off the side of the road behind some scrub pines. And when the motorcycles pulled up to the rocks and boulders, they slowed and stopped just like the other groups did. As soon as the last bikers stopped, yes, what? What do you need?
Well, I was just going to show you my hair.
Okay, you going home?
Yeah.
Okay. See, all hell broke loose. One volley from 90 hunting rifles, and there was not a biker alive. So many rounds went through the first column of bikers and into the second column, and added to that was the shooters that were targeting the second column, that many of them targeting second column. Hang on, you put something in here. It caused many of them to be thrown into the northbound lanes. Those in the first Class A RV were shocked to see 45 of the fellow club members suddenly thrown to the ground in a cloud of reddish pink mist. At the same time as the order was given to fire, the LA TV started rolling forward into view, and the M23 30 millimeter chain gun tracking them. As soon as the front element was eliminated, front element was eliminated. 100. Hang on, I need to put a sword. Sorry, and camo and military. There we go. 100 people in camo and military scrub brush, and we're looking right into the cabs of the 21 semi trucks. And 60 came over the bank on the other side and ran to the driver's doors and threw them open and shoved shotguns in. 8 of the drivers were hijacked. Their bill of lading driver's licenses and electronics verified their identities. The second RV component claimed that they had female hostages. Larry Robinson replied, "That's what Eagle Eye Eddie in the Barstow chapter said. They weren't, and we killed them all for lying to us." Those in the RV started arguing loudly while that was going on. Abigail Sure Shot Tamara, number 3, Jefferson. Lisa Creedmoor Robinson, Modern Harry, Jordan, Casey, Undersea Drybeck, Donnie, Adar, follow. Yeah, spelled that wrong. Followed Michael and Kimberly to the RVs and positioned themselves two per RV. Two of the SOG members met them and swapped Michael and Kimberly's car 15s for a small shoulder bag with a dozen M84 stun grenades and a Fostech Origin 12 with a 30 drum round magazine each. Michael and Kimberly made their way to the back of the third RV. Using the radio, Michael asked Abigail, "Is there someone in the driver's seat?" Affirmative. He's sitting sideways facing the door. Remove him. A second later, the a whole APPEA appeared in the glass door. Yeah, make this sounds better. And a second later, a hole appeared in the glass door of the RV, and a high-pitched scream started, followed by the thumping sound of someone falling down the stairs of the doorway, then smashed into the door, causing it to open. Juice, are you all right? Came from inside the bus. It's not a bus, it's an RV. RV with the sound of heavy running feet. 2 seconds later, another scream, and this time not high pitched, and the thumping of someone falling down the stairs of the doorway, and a thud of a body landing on another body. And a body rolled out of the door of the RV. Michael stepped back from the RV and aimed his Fostech at the picture window, and quickly fired off 3 shots at the window, totally destroying it and removing the blinds behind it. Now, he hollered to Kimberly, who threw 3 M84 stun grenades in the window, spun around towards the door, and spun around towards the door. The grenades went off as Kimberly got to the body laying just outside the door and kicked it in the head. Groans and cussing came from inside the RV. The body at the bottom of the stairs, STAIR stairs, was upside down with its head on the bottom step at a weird angle. Its foot caught in the handrail, keeping it from grabbed the other foot and gave a very hard yank. The hung up foot broke free with a crack, and the body rolled out of the RV onto the other body. She noticed there was a big red patch over the biker's groin area. Mark and Linda Chapman moved up behind Michael and Kimberly and signaled to Michael to throw one more stun grenade inside. Michael signaled Linda to back Kimberly up, and He handed Mark a grenade and got one ready himself. With pins pulled, Michael nodded. He threw his towards the front, and Mark yeeted his to the rear. When they went off, more cussing and screams issued forth from inside the RV, and Kimberly and Linda rushed up the stairs. The first thing that Kimberly ran into was the biggest biker she had ever seen. He was staggering to his feet, and he grabbed at the air, trying to get hold of something to stand up. Kimberly stepped forward and punched him in the jaw, expecting him to drop like the others. "Ugh," he said, and shook his head. "Oh boy," Kimberly said in surprise, took a half step back, squatted, and put one hand on the floor and kicked out hard. The heel of her boot connected with his cheek and snapped his head up and back and sideways into the edge of the table. She twisted, switching hands, and whipped her other foot around, kicking the other side of his head, sending his eyeballs rolling back in his head. Snapping back up to her feet, Kimberly moved further into the RV. Next, she came across two heavily tattooed women. Both were holding their ears and trying to squint the bright floaters out of their eyes. She walked up to the first one and did a palm strike to the forehead, knocking her out. Then grabbed her and tossed her out the picture window opening. Kimberly turned quickly and grabbed the other woman just as quickly tossed her out the window, making her land on the first one. Linda came up to Kimberly and whispered, "I zip-tied the gorilla." Kimberly almost laughed, then pointed to the back bedroom and whispered, "Bathroom on the left, master bedroom at the end." Retrieving the cord from the blinds that Michael had blown from their hang on from come on, I'm losing the word here. I hate it when this happens. Blown from the I always put window frame. Blown from the window frame. Kimberly tied a slip knot at the end as she moved forward towards the bathroom door. She slid the open part of the slip knot over the lever as she stepped past the door. Flattening herself against the wall, she slowly pulled the cord so it lifted the lever up and opened the door. As soon as the lever had lifted enough, the door opened and Linda stepped in, weapon first. There she saw a tied-up naked teenager of 15 or 16 in the bathtub. Linda leaned down and whispered, "We will be back for you as soon as we finish searching the RV," she said. Searching the RV. "Stay quiet," the girl nodded. They moved on to the master bedroom. As Kimberly was looping the cord over the lever, she heard movements and sound of someone with tape over her mouth or a gag in it. Kimberly waved Linda back to get the girl out of the RV. Linda grabbed a couple of large bath towels and a pair of 2 large tennis shoes and took the girl out. Then Kimberly spoke. "The bedroom, and you know that we are out here. We also know you have someone in there who is gagged, most likely with tape, seeing that's how the girl in the bathroom was gagged. If your hostage is in good condition, I mean, sorry, is in as good a shape, I can turn you over to the local law enforcement agency. But if you hurt her from this point forward, we will not turn you over to the local law enforcement agency, but will dispense our justice on you over the next 3 months and then feed you to the hogs alive. You can't do that. Sure we can. The government has revoked your citizenship and all civil rights. We are to consider heaven's devils as terrorists and enemy combatants. And for the most part, we are to shoot on sight. We can offer life if the person has useful information that we want. Well, I don't have any information for you, and I won't turn on your brothers. You mean the information on the assembly areas for surviving over the winter? Areas like Snake River, the Snake River area campground near Valentine, Nebraska, Southern California, but of course that site was destroyed by the collapse of the ground into the magma. Canyon Hot Springs in Canada, and of course here, Kimberly chuckled loudly. Just so you know, we've already eliminated over 1,000 of those who chose to fight. Yeah, right. Hang on, I need to put the, there we go. Yeah, right. Oh, someone just came in. Hey, how's it going? Don't forget to please check in by saying hi and hitting the thumbs up button. Kimberly started naming names of gang members they had questioned. Now I'm getting tired of this, Kimberly said as she pointed the Foch tech at the door and fired a round and racked another. Are you crazy? The biker yelled. You don't know the half of it. Kimberly tossed in 2 M84 stun grenades through the hole in the door. Shit! The biker yelled and jumped between the bed and the wall. Kimberly quickly entered the room, sweeping the M84 to her right from the hostage and the biker, and stepped up onto the king-size bed, took 2 steps, and dropped down on top of the biker's back. Linda reached the girl hostage as the biker let out a groan. She gently removed the tape from the girl's mouth. Don't say a word. Where are your clothes? The girl pointed to the opposite side of the RV where Kimberly had kicked the M84s to. Stay here. What you're feeling pressed against your butthole is a 10mm vasectomy tool. What do you want? Your sat phones and the envelopes. What you talking about? Rule 1. I ask the question, you answer it, or I shoot you. Rule 2, you cuss and I shoot you again and again and again. Rule 3, you don't get to ask questions. Kimberly dragged the suppressor slowly across the biker's butt cheek and down his leg. I asked and you didn't answer. That makes you a naughty boy. She stopped at the fat of his calf. Here's a nice chunk of meat, a chunk of flesh. No, don't. Kimberly pulled the trigger. Motherfucker! And she pulled the trigger again. Son of a! She pulled the trigger again. Stop! I'll talk. Where are the sat phones? And the sat phones are inside our vest pockets. The envelopes are under the TV, and the other RVs the same. Names. The biker let out a sigh of resignation and began listening to the names of those in the other RVs. While Kimberly was questioning the biker, several others came in and removed the gorilla biker. Then they got the biker Kimberly was questioning. Hang on, I need to... and took him outside. Okay, there we go. Linda held out the 2 M84s to Kimberly, who took them and put them back in her bag. The first RV surrendered when they were looking down the barrel of a 30mm chain gun. They had one hostage. And the second RV, They say they have 3 girls and are trying to negotiate, Captain Larry Robinson said as he entered the RV. We had 2 here. RV. A wicked smile crossed Kimberly's face. Knock on the door. They quickly cleared the bodies out of the first element of bikers from the northbound lanes, then pulled the first RV out into that lane and stopped it. Michael told Cassie under siege Ryback as soon as the first RV pulled forward, she was to shoot whoever was sitting in the driver's seat. Hang on. Driver's seat of the second RV. Oh, got a couple more people in too. Hey guys, gals, be sure to check in by saying hi and hitting the thumbs up, okay? Marta Harry Jones and Donnie Adair went to back her up. Just as Michael said, as soon as the first RV started to move, the driver for the second one ran to start it up, and when he set his foot on his right foot to climb into the seat, Under Siege sent the 338 Lapua Magnum slug straight into his knee. The 300 grain slug blew apart the top of the tibia, causing the bone fragments to shatter to shred the ligaments and tendons of the joint, removing any support the leg once gave. Without that support, the biker collapsed to his right and fell down the stairs to the RV's door. He lay against the door, screaming in pain, and she set the crosshairs across the back of his head and gently squeezed the trigger. Hold fire, Michael said over the radio as he stepped up to the RV and tried the handle. The door opened and the body fell out. Michael pulled an M84 out of his bag, pulled the pin, and started to ease up the steps when his radio came to life. Archer, back out, Nora said quickly. Michael quickly stepped back into the side of the doorway as the windshield splintered and a second biker dropped down the steps. Throw it, Nora said. Michael yeeted the stun grenade as hard as he could. His aim wasn't his best, but luck was with him. It bounced off the refrigerator, then the head of a biker girl. Other bikers saw it and yelled grenade and SWAT. Another biker, not only single, not plural. Okay, another biker saw it, yelled grenade and swatted it away from him. The SWAT sent it further towards the back of the RV. When another biker yelled grenade, everyone tried to be one with the floor. And the biker at the back landed on top of 2 girls in front of him, and the M84 landed on its lower back and went off. The 12th thoracic to the 3rd lumbar vertebrae took the impact of the detonation along with the kidneys. The 2 girls were somewhat shielded by the biker's mass. Michael ran towards the back and started stomping on the wrist and elbow of every biker he saw. Mark and Linda Chapman followed him, and with Kimberly coming next. She heard more boots behind her and slid into the bench seat of the dining room table to let them go by. Then they started to lead the biker girl out. Kimberly was impressed to stop them and have her sit across the table from her. The girl glared at Kimberly for several seconds, then her eyes got wide. Oh, shit, the biker girl said very softly. Then Larry and one of the gunnery sergeants led one of the bikers by Kimberly, and Kimberly held up a hand to stop him. Kimberly looked at the girl. What's his name? I'm not telling you anything. I want my lawyer, the girl snarled. The biker chuckled, and Kimberly waved them on. Then Linda brought up a topless girl, and Kimberly mentioned for Linda to have her sit in one of the chairs across the way. The new happy now? The biker girl looked down. Two staff sergeants and Mark led the last biker from the back. Hang on, I can because this again. Okay. I'm watching. I'm trying to figure exactly how. Oh, it looks like. Crack and grind. Hey, how's it going? Man, that took a while for that to pop up. Okay, let's see. Snarled in. Two staff sergeants and Mark led the last biker from the back. Forward. And Kimberly held up her hand again. What's his name? She ain't going to talk. She's one of us, the biker snarled in pain. Hang on. COMMAND, Commander Smythe, SMYTHE. We'll see about that, Commander Smythe, Nora said in her British accent as she stalked towards them. She stopped in front of him, pulled out a stun gun, and stuck it against his mouth and pushed the button. After she released it, you have no rights, so you will talk. His name is Richie Charles. He's the leader from National. The biker girl said. The other guy was Paul Gomez. He is also from National. She looked over at the topless girl. I'm sorry, you were right. I should have held out. Kimberly slowly waved Mark and the sergeants to take Richie outside. My name is Heather James, the biker girl said. I made a bunch of mistakes. The biggest was that I betrayed my friend. She took a shaky breath. I heard that people were killing heaven's devils. Killing heaven's devils. But they took us captive. There were so many of them, I couldn't see how they could lose any fight they got into. They had so many trucks of food, so many trucks loaded with food. I thought it was the only way to survive. I know that because I joined them, you're going to kill me too. But I will tell you everything I know about them. I just ask that you make it painless as you can. Kimberly was having a hard time keeping her face impassive, as keeping it sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Kimberly was having a hard time keeping her face as passionate as she was. If not for the red skull face balaclava she was wearing, she was sure everyone would have seen the shock on her face. As painless as they can, another topless girl shouted as she stormed forward and tossed a shirt to the other topless girl. What can you tell them that we haven't? That once we were set up the North Rim, they were going to wait 2 more weeks for you to join, and if you didn't join, make you pass around for a couple of weeks, then kill you? Heather started crying. Paul said the only reason they hadn't killed you already was because I was trying to get you to join. It's true, a fourth girl said as she came forward in front of Michael. Richie told me that because I agreed to be his wag, I wouldn't be a pass around and kill. The two topless girls' mouths fell open in shock. What's your name, Nora? Hang on. I got to put it in there again and do it right. Hang on, let me go back up here. Control C. Bring it down here. Control V. Commander Smythe. Nora asked the third girl. Tiffany Martin, she said. Control V. Hang on, it's not the third girl, it's the fourth girl. F-O-U-R, fourth girl. Right? Let me go back up and make sure. Yeah, because the other two were over there. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the biker girls, Heather James. The other two, there are two topless girls across the way and a third topless girl, or the fourth girl total. Yeah, a fourth girl said, no, she's topless too. Let's see. No, that was the topless girl, tossed the shirt. So I got two topless girls and two other girls. Yeah. Yeah, so fourth girl is Tiffany Martin. Okay, I got it figured out now again. Commander Smythe, Tiffany Heather, Commander Smythe spoke slowly. Did they say how they would kill your friends if they didn't join? No, both of them said. Others we have questioned said that they do it during sex. They start eating their victims and let them bleed to death for as they call it, the dying quiver. Commander Smythe, Nora said. Everyone looked on in silence as all four girls broke down crying hysterically. After a minute, Heather looked at Kimberly. I need some bleach to wash my mouth out with. Why? Kimberly asked in surprise. I was deep tonguing his mouth, she answered in disgust and started to choke as the bile started to rise, as the choke on the rising bile. The others started gagging too. Sounds like these four need a talk with the Banshee, Michael said. Kimberly tilted her head to the side as she looked up at Michael questionably. Really, Kimberly? Michael said, and instantly realized he made a mistake by the reaction of Heather, who leaned forward and stared hard at Kimberly. Holy shit, Heather said in awe. Then turned her head to Michael. M. Moore. Michael? Commander Smythe Nora let out a loud laugh. You two need to stop wearing your names on your uniforms. The first topless girl said, what are you talking about? These are captains in the Marine Corps. They're not teenagers like us. Yes. Besides, Tiffany said, pointing at Kimberly, doesn't have an eye patch. Kimberly's head hit the table in front of her hard. Thanks, Super Scout, she said sarcastically. Sorry. Oh my God, the second girl exclaimed. You're Juby Chan? Nora spoke up loudly and pointed at the first topless girl. Name and age. Stephanie Meacham, 17. She pointed at the second topless girl. Name and age. Megan Moore, 16. What? Michael shouted. No relation that I know of, Megan said. Commander Smythe, Nora, look at Tiffany. Age, 16. 17, Heather said before Nora could ask her. 17, 7 months, 15 days. What everybody but Michael and Nora said in surprise. 17, 7 months, 15 days. Kimberly said, her face still on the table. I'm tired of having to play a 22-year-old. I'm tired of fighting and not getting anywhere. I'm tired of being the hero. I'm tired of not being able to save those that look up to me. I'm tired of having to rescue those that didn't listen to me. I'm tired of being a leader. I'm tired of not being able to make a mistake. I'm tired of having to be a nice person. I'm tired of being a virgin. I'm just tired. Babe, Kimberly looked up. Yes, Super Scout husband to be. We can take the horses and some camping gear and take off for a couple days. If you want, we can ride out and check on the north. Michael said earnestly. We can go bow fishing, hiking, whatever you want. I'll let you give me monkey bites all day long if you want. Yeah, you might not want to take tomorrow off, Heather said cautiously. Kimberly sat up, pulling the balaclava off. What happens tomorrow? Richie and Paul were in contact with Amarillo and Tucson chapters. They're supposed to be arriving here tomorrow afternoon, Heather said. This is what's left of the San Diego chapter. Most of them died in Las Vegas, Tiffany added, as did our families. Are there any more chapters still alive in Las Vegas? Commander Smythe, Nora asked urgently. Several thousand, Heather answered. They're salvaging trucks to haul food and supplies up here. With that. 4, comma there. Do you know when they're supposed to come? Commander Smythe asked using her British accent. Do you know when? Hang on. The rest are, you know when the rest are supposed to come here? Commander Smythe asked, still using her British accent. 3 or 4 weeks, Tiffany said. Most of their supplies sank in the quicksand during the big quake. That's when our families died, Stephanie Meacham said. We were camping at Little Red Rock when the earthquake hit, Megan Moore added. We will get full statements from you for later, Michael said. In the meantime, we're going to have to follow security procedures. Your hands will be zip taped and mouths duct tape. Your hands will be zip tied and mouths duct tape. Kimberly pointed to Stephanie and Megan. You two, button your shirts up before Juby Chan rips off those nipple piercings out. Kimberly's head snapped up and stared at the two white-haired girls, who quickly buttoned their shirts and tucked them in their pants. Stand up. And hands behind your backs, Linda said. Oh. All right, still got 4 people in here watching. All right. All right, it's been about an hour and a half here. Hang on, I need another shot of go-go juice here. Shake it up, try to get the carbonation to come out of it. Still carbonated. Um, over the next couple of hours, everything the girls told him was verified by the bikers under intense interrogation, under the intense interrogations of Nora and her team. There are about 2,500 surviving Heaven Devils on the west side of North Las Vegas. They were busy salvaging trucks and supplies to replace those that were lost in the liquefaction of the earthquake. They also found out that Heaven's Devils were recruiting from other gangs and the starving population as well. New members from starving population were videotaped raping or killing preteen boys and girls to ensure they would remain loyal to the gang. In about a week, the next group should be coming with bringing more trucks than bringing more trucks than original gang members. Hang on, that just doesn't sound right. I'm trying to remember what I was wanting to say there. I'm just going to change this from than to and original gang members. That makes more sense. In one of the RVs, they discovered some high-powered radio equipment. Radio problems that were being talked about on the ham radios about magnetic meteors messing with the radio transmissions in the North Rim area. He added they couldn't figure out why none of the sat phones weren't connecting either. Federal Marshal Finley said that the most of the sat phones they were using were newer ones that hadn't had their numbers shared with other chapters or the national gang members. The ones that were shared, he made sure that they were turned off and locked up. They reported all of this on a live conference call, as well as They reported all of this on a live conference call, as well as the new ROTC group that arrived from Southern Utah University at Cedar City. Hang on. I'm not sure if I got this correct here. Control F. How many of that? 3 results. That's number 2. Okay, I need to go up 1. Okay, and up. That's in there to up here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so all right. So I was just verifying that the SUU. Let me do this a different way here. I need to add this in it. Yeah. Right. Okay. Control F. How many do we got on here? 7 results. Okay. Southern Utah University said there. Okay. I want to go down here. Southern Utah. Yeah. Okay. Just make sure I wasn't okay. All right. Let me go ahead and just fix this here. SOUTH, Southern Utah University at Cedar City. After the highway had been cleared, 9 of them joined the SOG and 8 joined the new recruits. Ten other LO. 10 other locals arrived for boot camp as well. All right, and someone else just came in. Hey, welcome. Please check in, say hi, hit the thumbs up. 10 other subjects. As far as your supply goes, General Donaldson said, General Donaldson said a C-40A Clipper will be arriving at the Kanab Airport Saturday morning about 0900 with your supplies and with your medical supplies and the PJs. Excellent. We have 3 Class A RVs set up and ready for them to use here, and 2 at the hospital for when they need to be there. General Samson Marquest explained. There is a slight hitch in the numbers coming, though, Joseph said cautiously. Oh, you're getting the teams as mentioned before, plus their dependents. Since they're going to be with you for at least 9 months, they requested their families go with them. How many dependents are we looking at? Lance Corporal? Hang on. There we go. Mary cleared her throat. Captain Hiller and Tech Hiller are married, no children. Major Holmes married, 3 children, 10 and 16. Tech Harris married, 1 child, 6. Tech Appleton widowed, 2 daughters, 12 and 14. Tech Swain single. I'll get 2 more RVs cleared up and set up before they get here, Benjamin called out. Thank you, Mr. Clark. General Marquest said, we'll be ready for them. Good. They'll be glad to hear that. Joseph glanced at the papers in front of him. Hang on. Oh, get something off here. Oh, oh yeah. All right. Let's see here. Good. They'll be glad to hear that. Joseph glanced at the papers in front of him. I see that Commander Smythe wanted a few minutes. She's verifying something at the moment, Kimberly said. I'll go see how much longer she. The door opened, and Commander Smythe entered. And hang on, this goes at the end, not at the beginning. Commander Smythe, Nora, came in carrying a pile of papers. My apologies. There were some inconsistencies in the statements that the national and chapter leaders made, and I had to clear them up. What were they? Secretary Daniels asked. How many survived the Crystal Lake campground collapse, and whether they were being counted in the Las Vegas numbers? She set the papers down and spread them out and picked one up. The Crystal Lake campground was supposed to have 3,500 gang members report there. Through further questioning, I have pieced together that only about 500 were there when that portion of the San Bernardino Mountains collapsed. She picked up another paper. According to Richie Charles, one of the national gang leaders, only about 750 are making their way to Canada. The rest were supposed to head to the. The rest were supposedly headed to the North Rim via Las Vegas. Only about 1,500 were known to be in the Las Vegas area. That puts about 750 unaccounted for. The day after the collapse is when Hoover Dam failed. It is possible that those missing were caught in the floodwaters. If not, we have another sizable group out there. Norris let out a sigh. As soon as we can get all the notes scanned, we will send them to you. Thank you. As soon as I have them, I'll set our team on picking through them. One more thing for the president, Nora said hesitantly. Hang on. Commander Smythe, Nora said hesitantly. It has to deal with those that are helping me. How can I be of assistance, Commander? President Lepetamine said as soon as his picture appeared on the screen. Full presidential pardons for anyone who has assisted me in any way in gathering information from those I deem necessary to question, including members of the military, federal employees, local militia, local law enforcement, and civilians. That sounds like an appropriate request. Thank you, sir. Commander Smythe nodded deeply. Would you care to meet my team? Sure, President said and gestured with his hands. Commander Smythe, Nora turned and called out, "Ladies!" The door opened and macabre figures entered and lined up across the back of the room. They wore black rain jackets and pants, black rubber boots, black rubber gloves, with plaid mask and broad rim hats. Then hang on. Then Commander Smythe spoke. Plague. The black, the red mask nodded. Pestilence. The white mask nodded, and famine. The brown mask nodded. Misery. Hang on. The orange mask nodded. Pain. The black mask nodded. 5 of my ladies of hell. Of your ladies of hell, DHS Regional SAC Davies asked. I have 2 other ladies who are currently playing the most horrifying, blood-curdling, eyeball-melting, bone-shattering acid rock that has ever cursed the ears of humans to the prisoners while peeing on them, Nora said and gave a dramatic shiver. I dare say that when we get back, the Doulahan and the band, and hang on, dang it, I thought I had that capitalized before. In fact, I know I did when I was adding stuff here earlier. All right, hang on, let me save this. The Banshee and the Doulahan will have the prisoners begging for us to kill them rather than listen to another second of the music. Michael snorted. Who's playing? Banshee, as she dances back and forth on the planks that their hands and arms are secured to, Nora answered, stepping on their hands. Let me go ahead and get that in. Nora and Commander Smythe, Nora answered, stepping on their hands. About 30 minutes ought to get them begging to talk some more, Michael said. She is rather awful, Nora said, her accent getting a bit heavier. Sorry, her BRIT, her British accent getting a bit heavier. We should get our interrogators to recruit some rock musicians, General Candace Smythe said. Bad musicians, Michael and hang on, let me get this here. Said together and laughed. Mr. President, Kimberly spoke up for the first time during the meeting. Yes, Captain Jackson. When we were recruited into the CIA, the CIA changed our ages to make us better blend into our backstory and military history they had created. Kimberly took a deep breath. They made us 22 years old, and while I enjoy some of the perks of being over 21, I feel I should let you know the truth about how old I really am. Well, not that it really matters anymore to me, not with all the skills you have shown you have. So how old are you? 17, 7 months, 15 days old. I mean, I go ahead and put years in there. 17 years, 7 months, 15 days old, Kimberly said. Mr. President, Colonel Houston spoke up quickly. I think there's some other extenuating information you need to know as well. And what is that? President Lepetamain asked with a grim face. Yesterday, Captains Jackson and Moore completed the Naval Academy first-year finals. After Lieutenant Houston and I were finished grading them, we asked General Marquess to double-check the results. And those were, they each got 98.9% correct overall. Captain Jackson aced the U.S. history test, and Captain Moore aced the mathematics test. Damn, I only got 94.8, the president said as he sat back and tossed his pencil at the desk. And they're both under 18? Yes, sir, Colonel Houston said. I'm a day younger, Michael sighed. A female laugh came from off camera. Captain Moore, Senator Mitchell said as she stepped up behind her husband. You're in great company. She leaned down and kissed the vice president on the head. I'm a week older than Matt, and she kissed him again. President Lepetamain roared with laughter and slapped his desk. My wife is older too. Babe, yes, my ninja, if you run for office, have me committed because that means I've lost my mind. Michael said. Hang on. Michael said, and need to change that first one to a lowercase s. Chris Davies spoke again. Why do you call them the ladies of hell? And I looked, and I beheld a pale horse, and her name that sat upon him was Eleanor Smythe. And she is, is the angel of death. And all hell followed with her. And power was given unto her over all of the earth, to kill with hammer and sword, and with lightning and soldering iron, and with death's stare, and all of hell, and with all of hell, and the beasts of the earth and the fires of heaven to devour all she slays. A mischievous grin crept across Kimberly's face. That is from the Book of Interrogation Lamentations, as recorded by the Red Assassin, Michael said. The ladies are all hell, although they refer to themselves as the doctors. Hang on, I need to throw something down. I'm missing something here. Okay, hang on. Let me go back up here and find something here. So I need to put it down here at the end. Did I miss it here? I missed it. There it is. There it is. Control C. Boom. There we put. Okay, so this is, today was done as chapter 2. Hang on, I need to check something over here again real quick before I go any further here. Next one is chapter 8, and we're at chapter 8. Okay, so we made good time today, even with all the corrections and stuff I was doing. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so Tuesday morning we will start off with chapter 8, and let me go ahead and just set this up here so it is set. Okay, and hit save and bring me back here. There we go. And tonight, however, let me get the right one up here again. Yes, tonight on Kent Patton Family Compound, my other channel, at 8 p.m. Eastern, the topic is for the Monday Night Fireside Chat is recanning bulk canned food. And we're going to talk about more than just recanning. We're going to talk about other ways of preserving, like you get a big can of peaches, ways, you freeze it, whatever else we need to do. If you talk about freeze drying stuff as well. We'll talk about different ways of storing the food. Tomorrow night here on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday, the topic is you can only have 15 types of canned food. So chili would be one type. Canned peaches would be another type. So that's what we're going to be talking about, 15 types of canned food. And we want everybody to participate as let us know what are their 15 types of food that they want to have if you're limited to just 15 types of food, not 15 total cans, 15 types. Wednesday, the morning show here is going to start at noon Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. All right. So that'll be for Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be back at 9 a.m. as I check the numbers and stuff. We get a lot more people coming in and commenting in the afternoon and stuff. We may move it all to that time for Monday through Friday. Thursday is the City Hall council meeting, the City Council meeting this Thursday. And of course, I will be there. So I'm going to schedule it to start a half an hour later than normal. But if I get back on time, we'll kick off at the normal time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. So, but it will be scheduled for 10:30 Eastern time. But if I get back and everything, I'll kick it off at the normal time. Friday on Kent Patton Family Compound is Friday the 13th. Let's do it again. And so it's going to be kind of an open night on Friday night, being Friday the 13th. We may talk about some movies, some those type movies and stuff. Saturday, the morning show will start at 10 o'clock a.m. for Saturday. I can't remember what the topic was that Shadow had picked for us for the afternoon show, but I will have it up there as soon as I notice it. He probably is not going to post it. Post the live that it's going to be live until Friday. So, but it's going to be good. When he said it, I was Mark and I were like, "Oh yes, this is going to be good." So it's going to be good. Survival Saturday for my channel only, and the 8 p.m. Eastern is can you survive an active shooter event? And we're going to talk about stuff that everyone needs to know about. And I will try to throw up the link so you guys can go to the Homeland Security training page for that as well, which most people don't know about. And you can watch that there, talk about it there. Yeah, so we will be using a lot of code words so we don't get dinged on it on Saturday. All right. So that's what's coming up for the next week here. And with that, we're going to wrap it up here now. And hang on, let me go ahead and get rid of that. And so we'll see you tonight on Camp Patton Family Compound. Take care, everyone.